Hello everyone and welcome to my channel We Know Ball. My name is Chase. Today I'm going to be starting my ranking each position series, and today we'll be starting with the catchers. All the catchers on this list are as of the date of recording, November 17th. The projected starting catchers of each lineup. That's how all these rankings will be. Is that day of the recording, whoever's the projected starter, that's who's on my list. Um, I'm super excited to start my YouTube channel, and I'm a big baseball fan. Unfortunately, a Pirates fan. Been through a lot, but we're gonna get it done eventually. Shout out Paul Skeens, but yeah, let's get right into the video. Starting at number 30, we have Nick Fortes of the Miami Marlins. It's simple. Fortes wouldn't be anywhere else if he wasn't on the Marlins. He's not good. Put up a 227 average, 4 home runs, 56 OPS, a 0 B WAR, 557 OPS isn't good enough. 30 on my list. Number 29, I have Hunter Goodman of the Colorado Rockies. If he didn't play in Denver, his homers wouldn't stand out with 13. He isn't good defensively. Put up a negative 0.8 WAR. Also a catcher that wouldn't be starting anywhere else with a 645 OPS. At number 28, I have Corey Lee of the Chicago White Sox. He batted 210 with 12 homers, a 591 OPS, and a 68 OPS plus with a 0.1 B WAR. I just believe he has a slightly higher potential than Goodman because he doesn't play in a juice ball stadium, and he also was a high prospect. Number 27, I have Ben Wardvet of the Rays. In 112 games, he batted 228 with a 317 on base and a 621 OPS, and in the year on a 0.9 B WAR. He's a very mid defensive catcher. Nothing pops out of on his baseball savant. Nothing really exciting out of him. Number 27. At number 26, I have Kyber Ruiz. I don't know what happened to the kid. He was so highly ranked as a prospect. So many people were excited for him just to put up a 229 average, a 260 on base, a 619 OPS, and a 0.6 B WAR in his fifth season. The only reason he isn't any lower, which he definitely could be, is just based off his potential to be good. There's definitely something in him. At number 25, I have Miguel Amaya of the Chicago Cubs. I do think they'll go out and sign someone to replace Amaya, but for right now, he is the starter. In 117 games, he put up a 232 average, a 288 on base, and a 644 OPS while hitting 8 home runs and driving in 47. At one point, the guy couldn't throw anyone out on the bases. John Boy made a video about it, which I would definitely go watch if you haven't, which all accumulated to a 1.9 B WAR. Number 24, I have Alejandro Kirk of the Blue Jays. I just don't think the meatball is a good catcher. He can't really do anything well. He batted 253 with a 319 on base and a 677 OPS. He popped out 5 home runs and cashed in 54 RBIs in 103 games. Definitely the best catcher so far, but not good enough to be ranked any higher. At number 23, I have Jake Rogers of the Tigers. Anyone who helped that team get to the postseason deserves some sort of credit. Jake Rogers was definitely a part of that. He's a very good defensive catcher, probably second to Cal Raleigh. He hit 197 on the year with 10 home runs and a 71 OPS plus, which all of his offensive numbers picked up a little bit in the postseason, but I'm expecting good things out of Jake Rogers next year. At number 22, I have Bo Naylor of the Guardians. Bo Naylor had a great rookie season, and this year he went into a sophomore slump, only hitting 201 with a 264 on base and a 614 OPS, hitting 13 home runs while driving in 39 runs. The reason he is even this high is because of how good he looked in his rookie year, I guess you can say, but he can definitely repeat that and do even better. One more away from the top 20 at 21, I have Luis Campusano of the Padres. Luis showed a very promising bat at the MLB level in 2023, and that did not show up at all in 2024, hitting 227 with a 281 on base, 642 OPS while putting out 8 homers and driving in 40. He has showed us his great potential, and I'm looking forward to seeing it in 2025. Getting the top 20 started for us is Jonah Heim of the Texas Rangers. After this last year, I just can't put Heim up any higher right now. I understand all Rangers didn't hit well, but Heim was awful this year, hitting 220 with 267 OBP, 602 OPS in 131 games with a 1.1 B WAR. 24 just didn't go his way. Hopefully, he has a bounce back season. At number 19, I have Francisco Alvarez. I'm sorry, Mets fans, as much as you think he's the GOAT, he did not have a better season than anyone ahead of him, hitting 237 with 11 home runs and 101 OPS plus, which is 1% better than the average hitter, and a 0.8 BWAR. I understand he missed quite some time, which doesn't hurt his value at all. He'll definitely be a top catcher in this league, though. At number 18 is Patrick Bailey of the Giants. Bailey is a top tier defensive catcher, arguably the best, which brings up his value so much as a player, especially when he only hits 234 with a 298 OBP and a 637 OPS and having a 1.8 BWAR. If he doesn't turn his hitting around, I don't know how much longer he will be starting, but there's definitely a good bat in him. At number 17, I have Ryan Jeffers of the Twins. In 122 games, he batted 226 with a 300 on base percentage and a 732 OPS, 21 home runs, and 64 RBIs. Jeffers is the best catcher on the list so far, with how good he was in 2024 and how good he can be in the future. Not the best defensively, but Jeffers is just a mid to good catcher. At number 16, I have Austin Wells of the Yankees. Now, Austin Wells was streaky, I guess you can say, in 2024. I mean, towards the end of the year, he just forgot how to hit a baseball, but still ended with a 229 average, 322 on base, and a 718 OPS, 13 home runs, 55 RBIs, and 110 games. He was really good behind the plate. Overall, a very good rookie season, and showed us how his future could look like. At number 15, I have Connor Wong of the Red Sox. Connor Wong proved a lot of people wrong this year with his bat. He turned it around after 2023, this year having a slash line of 280, 330, and a 758 OPS, 13 home runs, 52 RBIs. He's mainly a catcher, but he can really play anywhere. Not great behind the plate with his glove, but he gets that slight edge over Wells because he was consistent over the whole season. And number 14, I have Ivan Herrera of the Cardinals. Now, I know this may shock some people. I have a guy who played 72 games this high, but he was good. He batted 301 with a 372 on base and an 800 OPS. Him coming up and playing this good allowed the Cardinals to be comfortable enough to move Contreras to first base, totaling up to a 1.7 BWAR in just those 72 games. At number 13, I have Logan O'Hoppe. He's one of my personal favorite players, and I hope he continues to grow and become a great player. But in 2024, he batted 224 with a 303 on base, a 712 OPS, hitting 20 homers and driving in 56 in 136 games, while also playing all right behind the plate, nothing bad. But in the end, he had a 2.7 BWAR. I'm super excited for the kid, and I hope he breaks out. Number 12, I have Tyler Stephenson of the Reds. He's a good player. He's someone I could see being traded, but for right now, he's on the Reds. In 2024, he batted 258 with a 338 OBP, a 782 OPS, slugging 19 home runs and 66 RBIs. Not the best behind the plate, but good enough. He's just a consistent and a little underrated player, I feel like. Number 11, I have Gabriel Moreno of the Diamondbacks. We know he's a good defensive catcher, which really brings up his value. He's ranked really high as a prospect for that and his bat. His bat hasn't really shown up at all in the big leagues, but if it doesn't, this ranking looks awful because he only batted 266 with a 353 OBP, a 734 OPS, only 5 homers, and 45 RBIs. At number 9, I have Pirates legend Joey Bart. Now, this may seem biased, and you can say it is, but Joey Bart has flipped his career around in Pittsburgh, and I couldn't be happier for him. He batted 265 with a 337 OBP and a 799 OPS, while slugging 13 homers and 45 RBIs in just 80 games. He missed some time with the injury, but overall, a great bounce back year, and I'm hoping he continues this. Number 8, I have Sean Murphy of the Braves. If Murphy didn't get hurt on opening day, I'm sure he could have had another great season, but just because of that, I had to bring his ranking down a bit. Batted 193, had a 284 OBP, a 636 OPS, 10 homers, 25 RBIs. His fielding was good, but I am expecting a bounce back year from him in 2025. Number 7, I have the great old Salvi Perez. No disrespect to Salvador, he's playing great, but he's getting older, so I'm sure soon he will be a DH. But he had another great season, batting 271 with a 330 on base and a 786 OPS. while hitting 27 homers and driving 106 home. His legs are going to tire out eventually, but Salvi is no doubt a great hitter. One spot out of the top 5, I have JT Realmuto of the Phillies. He is still a great player. He slowed down a bit this year, but he still does so much well, batting 266 with a 322 on base and a 751 OPS, 14 homers, 47 RBIs, only 2 steals. So even though he has some speed, the Phillies wanted to cut back on his steals so he keeps his legs healthy. But overall, he is still a great player. Starting my top 5, I have Yanir Diaz of the Astros. Yanir had a great season in 148 games. He batted 299 with a 325 on base and a 766 OPS, hitting 16 home runs and cashing in 84 RBIs. Although his fielding isn't the best, he's still young. He has a ton of time to get better. His offense picks up for it as well, and he'll be the Astros starting catcher for a while. At number 4, it may be a surprise, but I have Adley Rutschman of the Orioles. Adley regressed this year, and I don't think this will affect him long term, but I also have not seen anything out of Adley where I've been wowed, and I've been like, yeah, this is the best catcher in his 3 seasons he has played. Adley's numbers were 250 average, a 318 on base, and only a 709 OPS, hitting 19 home runs and driving in 79. He's a good defensive catcher as well. I do think he will be an amazing catcher for so long, but it does need to start next year in his 4th season. At number 3, I have Will Smith of the Dodgers. Some things are not taken into account for catchers, but they have to memorize every single one of their pitchers' pitches and what they do. Will Smith knew he had to do that for like 100 people this year with how many injuries the Dodgers had. But offense does matter, and he had a slash line of 248, 327 with a 760 OPS while hitting 20 homers and driving in 75. He's a cornerstone piece on that Dodgers team and in that lineup, and they need a player exactly like him. Number 2 is Cal Raleigh of the Mariners. He won a platinum glove. He hits tanks. This guy's just insane. Mariners really have a solid bat in their lineup in Raleigh. He batted 220 with a 312 OBP and a 748 OPS. Doesn't look pretty, but all Mariners slumped this year, so it's not just him. But he put out 34 homers and drove in 100 runs. I mean, when you win platinum glove, that's going to bring up your value so much. And you put out 34 home runs. That's just a great catcher. Number 2. And at number 1, the best catcher in the MLB is William Contreras. He batted 281 with a 365 on base and 831 OPS. He hit 23 homers and drove in 92. He is a great defensive catcher. He ended the season with a 4.9 WAR, which was the highest out of all catchers. He played 155 games and he caught 120. You do not see that out of very many catchers playing today. William is still young. He has a bright future ahead of him. Thanks everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time with the first baseman.